Can watch this at some point if you'd like. Also in the chat is a link to the Mindfulness Broadcast videos. There are loads of them on there. So it's an opportunity just to take your work deeper throughout the week. Or if there was something I mentioned that you want to go back and get, those are always recorded and put up there. So welcome to the Mindfulness Broadcast. I want to talk today about joy. I have been, most of you know this about me, I'm a certified professional life coach, and I have the opportunity to coach through both my private business, where I do leadership and executive coaching and entrepreneurship coaching, and then also coach through the work of Empower, where I get the opportunity to coach with so many amazing people in transformation periods of their lives. And a common theme that is out there is that this idea of when I blank, my life will be so much easier. I will be so much more relaxed. I will get involved in all the things that I will work out. I will reach out to the people that I love. I will be a better parent. I will, all the things, right? After this thing occurs. And so whenever I hear that, I'm like, oh, here's a coachable moment. And so I'm bringing a coachable moment to you through the lens of mindfulness, because those things are entwined in many ways. So see if this resonates with you. So when I wrote this little sentence down. So once I blank, I will be, I will do, or I will, and you can insert a verb. So once I retire, I will be so much more involved in my grandkids' lives, and I will go visit my kids who have gone to the far reaches of the planet. Once this day is over and I'm finally out for the week, I'm just going to relax this weekend and have fun and just really connect with my partner or myself or whatever. Once I make that big shift in my schedule, that's really when I'm going to start working out more often and doing that meditation that Tiffany keeps mentioning. That would change my brain if I do it once a day, right? Once I get out of this meeting, once I make this presentation, once I have that glass of wine, once I start knitting, I will go do this other thing. Once I sell my house, once I get a divorce, once I get married, once my children get married, when my house finally gets clean, right? When all these things happen, then that's when I will finally prioritize self-care and joy. So perhaps that resonates with you. My guess is that it does. I know it certainly does with me. The other lens that I want to view this through is this idea that it's not just about what I will do, but it's about an identity. Once this is done, I will become the kind of person who prioritizes joy. And so the mindfulness and the coaching invitation is, what if you did that now? What if you right now in this moment saw yourself as the person who prioritized joy and self-care? How would you do today differently? How would you do this moment differently? You're here, so maybe you wouldn't do this moment any differently. But how would you do this day differently? How would you use your break? How would you use your lunch? How would you interact with those you serve and those you work with? How would you be in a meeting, in person or Zoom? How would you introduce yourself? How would you begin an email? How would you do these things right now, today, if you were the type of person that prioritized joy and self-care? So we're going to use our practice today to kind of focus a little bit on that and about realigning with new ways of thinking and getting out of autopilot, because autopilot is, I don't have time for that now. I'll do it all then. But guess who is the person who retires? The person who created a brain that says joy happens later, right? Or we get to the weekend and that person that we thought we were going to be, that person who prioritized joy and self-care, isn't that person, because that brain that says that comes second gets us busy in transporting kids to soccer events and getting caught up on emails and laundry and all of the things, and we miss, and suddenly it's like Sunday, right? And we're going, man, I wish there was another day of the week. I wish there was another day. But guess what we do with that? Yeah. So let's close our eyes or take a soft gaze. Find your breath and just land in this moment through that lens of prioritizing joy and self-care right now in this moment. And when we talk about joy, when we talk about self-care, what I want you to do is just note what's happening for you physiologically in your body. Where do you feel that? What happens for you when we talk about building an identity of joy and self-care for you right now? Where do you feel that in your body? If you were to say to yourself, I prioritize my own joy and self-care, you might even try to say that to yourself. I prioritize my own joy and self-care. I am the kind of person who prioritizes joy and self-care. So first, just notice that from a physical place. Where does it land for you? Is it an expansion? Is it a contraction? And then as you continue to think that, to repeat that, notice what happens in your mind. What are the automatic thoughts that come up? Is it a scoff? Wouldn't that be nice? Easy for her to say. I will next year. I will once I get the raise. I don't have the kind of life that would support that. What comes up for you? Or is it yes? A resounding yes. Yes, I am. Look at all the ways I'm already doing this. Just notice without any need to change or to challenge, just notice what happens for you when you begin to embrace the identity of being the kind of person that prioritizes joy and self-care now. And as you notice those things, get curious. Invite curiosity. We don't have to just simply buy in or believe what our brain produces. Being the kind of person that prioritizes joy and self-care can, for many of us, feel very vulnerable, very conflicted. Maybe we were raised in situations where self-care wasn't prioritized. Maybe we were raised in situations where a good work ethic meant that self-care always came last. That joy wasn't part of the work that has to be done. Maybe we've bought into what it means to be a mom or a dad, a parent, that we become the last on the list, or what it means to be a leader. So just get curious about it. What are my stories around joy, around self-care? And do I want to keep telling myself that story? What else might be true for me? What is one tiny step I could take today to increase my current experience with joy and self-care? So again, checking in with your body as we've talked about this, noticing its state, knowing that there's no right or wrong way to be, there's no good or bad way to be. We're just exploring. Find your breath again, breathing in, breathing out, grabbing any nuggets that maybe came forward for you in this practice, any insights, any ahas, anything that you want to grab and bring with you. And then slowly open your eyes and come back into this moment. Thank you. Thanks for being here, everyone. I'm going to once again, for those of you who may have popped on just a little bit after I put this in the chat, I'm going to put this in there again so that you can grab the information. Thank you for being here. Create joy. Thank you, Mauricio. I will enjoy my vacation. Yes. Excellent. Thanks.